Hello. How are you guys? Welcome, welcome. I am Jennifer Kirk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Guelph, Ontario. And this is part of our Global Night Angels video hop for June 2024. So every month we do demonstrators from around the world get together and we do a video hop. So this month's theme is a color combination, and it's not just a normal color combination. It's using one of the new 2024 to 2026 in colors with an old color. So combine a new color with an old color, and let's see what we get. So I am going to turn you around and we can get started. I'm going to show you one example of a card and then we're going to make a different one tonight. All right, so let me stop this banner and let me go down to our desktop. All right, so this card is inspired by somebody on, okay, now I forget her name. On Split, I found it on Split Coast Stampers, and it's Robin Rassett. Robin Rassett. She did a card with this layout, which I thought was really cool. So she inspired me, and I thought that this Mega Suite, which I will show you also in a second, would work really well with it. So for this one, I did Shaded Spruce with the new Shy Shamrock. Do they not just go awesome together? Like, they are so cool. I love these. I'm not a big green person. I also use some crumb cake in there, so we're allowed to use a neutral as well. So Shaded Spruce and crumb cake with the Shy Shamrock. All right. For tonight's card, we are going to use Petunia Pop and Berry Burst. Look at how gorgeous they are together. So they're both pinks, but they have a little tinge of purple in them. And I think they look gorgeous together. So we're going to make the same card just with different DSPs and different colors. And please let me know, leave a message and let me know which one you like the best. Okay, let's get stamping. Woohoo! So I just wanted to show you the mega bundle that we are using tonight. It is on page 52, 53 of the catalog. And it is the Unbounded Beauty Suite Collection. So this is a mega suite. I'll flip over the page here. You can see that there's two bundles that come in the suite. Okay, we're going to be using just the stamp sets today, but it is bundles, and these are just absolutely gorgeous. And designer series paper. There's also specialty paper and embellishments that come in the mega suite. All right, so let's get going. We have a lot of cutting and a lot of gluing today. So we have our card base. This is Petunia Pop. This is one of the new in colors. And it is 8.5 by 5.5. And we are going to score at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8. I'm just going to do it a couple times just so I get a nice score mark that you can see on camera. And then 4 1/4. Okay, so we will need our trimmer again. I'm just going to place it off to the side. So we have a 4 1/4 and a 2 1/8. So all we're going to do is fold it over and we are going to burnish it. And then this one, we're going to fold back this way. All right, so that's what we're going to do, just like that. So we also have some DSP. Isn't this gorgeous? And we have some Berry Burst cardstock. So the Berry Burst and the Petunia Pop, I think they look stunning together. So we're going to do, look at this, isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay, so we're going to glue these together. So the DSP is 5 1/4 by 1 7/8, and the layer is 5 3/8 by 2. Okay, so let's just glue these together. We have a lot of pieces, so I'm just trying to get rid of pieces so I don't lose them, because you know me, I lose things. So this is way, way too much glue. It's going to go yucky. You don't need this much glue. This glue is awesome, and you don't need that much. I like using liquid glue because it gives me a second to move it and get everything straight, which I can never put anything on straight. So that's why I like liquid glue. It's very forgiving. Okay, so there we go. We have 2 pieces. I'm going to put one of them on the card base now. So where these are going to go, this one is going to go on the front, and this one is going to go on here. But I'm not going to put the inside one on just yet. We'll just set it off to the side because we need to do some other cutting before, so that we can hide our little contraption. All right. So that goes just like that. And we'll just put this off to the side for now. Okay. The next thing that we have is we have some more DSP, and this is a different pattern from the same pack of paper. So this one is 2 by 2, okay, and we're going to cut both of these in half diagonally. And then we have 2 layers, which are 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, and we're going to cut these in half diagonally. So let's do that. All right, so all we're going to do is do corner to corner. So I'm putting these in my tray, just like that. Often it's better to start not at the edge, because sometimes the edge will get caught. So I just kind of, oh, it moved on me. This isn't going to be perfect. Oh, that's okay. Sometimes if you're coming along the edge and your blade can get caught, and then it'll make a rough edge. So whenever I'm doing something like this, I just drop it partway down, stick my blade down, and then cut. Okay. And so it doesn't really matter which way this goes. So I'm going to do the same thing. It's especially important for designer series paper, which rips easier because it's much thinner than our cardstock. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing, just like that. Oops, don't move it. Okay, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to deal with these. We still need this again. But again, we have lots of little pieces. I want to get them out of my way because I lose things. So what do you guys think of these 2 colors together? Do you like them? I do. Okay, we have a very, very narrow border. It'll be tiny, tiny. And of course, I'm going to get glue everywhere, all over me. I'm going to have to get a baby wipe because I have it all over my hands already. It will not make for... This one seems to have a bigger border. I wonder if I miscut. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. And one more. You don't want to put too much glue on because you don't want it to goop out the sides. Okay, there we go. So these are going to go on the inside of our card. So let's put them in. Okay, they're going to go right up to basically the top. I'm just placing them here so I can see what they're going to look like. Of course, I have my paper going the wrong way. Let's do it this way. Because they're squares, you can turn them. There. So now my paper is all going in the right direction. And we're just going to glue them just like that. So we do want a tiny, tiny bit of a border, but you want to make sure that you're not going over this score line. So I'm going to glue these two in first and then fit these ones in. All right. So again, I don't know if you guys can see the score line. I'm going to leave a little tiny, tiny border. Not much. And a tiny, tiny border. I can't see it. Hopefully I have a border on the top there. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just stick these guys on. You might get a little bit of an overlap there depending on how precise your cutting is. I don't do anything precisely, so the fact that I have a little bit of an overlap doesn't matter. What I do want is to have a tiny border. So if they're touching, they're touching. Okay, so that's that. See how this is going? Okay, so the next thing that we have is, let's just move this out of the way. All right, we have sticky fingers. Let me get a baby wipe and let me clean my fingers before we keep going. Okay, so this basic white, I have two of them. They are 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And the layers are 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. Okay, so what we're going to do is for one of these, we are going to cut it in half on the diagonal. Okay, just the one. The other one we're leaving full. So that goes cut in half on the diagonal. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side. And then for one of the bases, we are going to score on the diagonal, not cut. We are going to score on the diagonal. Okay, so we're scoring it on the diagonal. And then parallel to the diagonal line, we're going to cut 1 inch off the end. So I'm lining this up with the 1 inch line right here. You can see that. Okay. Keeping my score line parallel. So I want my score line to be straight up and down, and this to the 1 inch. And I'm going to just cut the points off. Okay. So you can see there's my score line. So I scored it diagonally, kept this straight up and down, and cut 1 inch off. And I do that on the 1. All right. So what we're going to do next is we are going to attach this one. So what we want to do is we want to line this up so it's right in the middle. We want to give this a good burnish. Okay, so I'm going to give that a good burnish. And we want to have it, so I'm just trying to see my example. Which way do I want it? This way? Let me guess. Let me place this down. Yes, okay. So we want to have it so it's folding this way. We're going to place this so that's lined up with the score line, okay? And we're going to put adhesive just in this area, not over here. We're just going to put the adhesive here, all right? So I'm going to put some glue here. See that? I'm happy, I think. I can't see if this is centered, but I think it's centered. I'm right up to the score line, but not over it. And I'm just going to drop this down and give it a good hold. Okay, so there we go. So we have a little contraption like this. And you know what? I put this in the wrong spot. I put that in the wrong spot. Okay, let's take that off. Oops. I will have to use adhesive remover for that. This will be covered, so it doesn't matter. Let me put some more adhesive on here. Let me figure out how this goes. It's been a while. That's how it goes. Okay, lined it up with the wrong score line. Oops. We all have boo-boos. So I want it lined up with this score line. Okay. So what I'm going to do is line it up just like this. And plump it down. So do you see how this is a nice area here? So these are all equal distance. Okay, that's what we do. Oops, sorry guys. Don't do as I do, do as I say. And then this guy, we're going to put in here. So do you see why we left this one and didn't put it on? Because I wanted this to be hidden. On my sample card, which I haven't actually shown you guys yet, here's the card we're making. Sorry, but we're doing it in pinks instead of greens and crumb cakes. So on this one, I didn't hide it, and I don't like that. So on ours, we're hiding it. So now we can stick this down. So let's put some glue on here. And is there a direction? Yes, I like it this way. And then we're just going to stick this down just like that. Okay, so I'm lining it up. There we go. All right. See how this is going? Okay, so our one piece is going to go here. And then these ones are going to go in here. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now it's time to stamp. So we only need one of these, so you have an extra one in case there's a boo-boo. And then we have these two guys, which are, what are these sizes? This is 1 5/8 by 1 5/8 and 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we're going to just set those aside, and we are going to do some stamping. So what you do have to remember is this card is, everything is going to be on the diagonal, all right? So you want to make sure that when you're stamping, you're taking that into account, all right? So this is going to be here. So I want to make sure that when I'm stamping, that I'm not stamping like it's a square. I'm stamping like it's a diamond. Okay, so we're going to do happy birthday. Now, should we use Berry Burst ink? Or, yeah, let's use, for the sentiment, let's use Berry Burst. Okay, so if you have grid paper, here's a tip. Line your corner up, line your corner up. Okay, and then you will get a nice straight stamp. So there we go. Happy birthday. Okay, and then we are going to stamp our flowers. So again, I'm going to line that up. I'm going to do the Berry Burst with the outline of the flowers, so the detailed part of it. Okay, so I'm going to have one going this way. And then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to just flip my stamp around and have it facing the other direction. Just like that. Okay. We'll come back to these. So then we have a stem. This one is really smooth. So that's going to be the fill-in. And this one is more, you can feel the roughness. This is the one that I want to have the dark color on. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get some scrap paper to come underneath here. And I'm just going to stamp this so I get as much of the image on here as I can. Okay, and I'm going to just stamp that just like that. Okay. All right, so that is it with Berry Burst. And now I'm going to pull out my Petunia Pop. And I should have tested this to see how dark this is, because I haven't done these two colors together. I am just going to try that. That's a little dark. Let me try stamp off. I'm going to stamp off. Okay. I want more of a contrast, kind of like how these are more contrast. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm just going to line this up as best as I can. Can't see very well. And plunk it down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, that's really bad. Okay. we have a second triangle. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere out of the way. We're going to do that again. I should have got out a grid paper so I could see. Okay. So we are going to stamp that again. Oh, and I just inked it up with the wrong color. Okay. Don't do what I'm doing. I got to clean it. I need to fill that up. Okay, so I'm going to clean this because I just put it into my Petunia Pop, and I want it in my Berry Burst because this, I'm back to the detailed one. So let me close this so I don't mess up again. One of those days, one of those days. That's okay. We're good. Okay, so I'm just inking up. This is the Berry Burst. I'm going to place that just like that. Okay, and then I am going to put the Berry Burst away. I do need it still for my sentiment, so I'll actually put it away. I'll just close it. And now I'm in the Petunia Pop. So when I'm lining this up, what I'm doing is I'm looking at these leaves. So I'm putting a leaf there and a leaf there. And what I didn't do was line up the stems. So don't forget to line up your stem when you're doing this. Okay, so I stamped off. I'm lining up my leaf, I'm lining up my leaf, and I'm lining up my stem. And I'm off again. It's the camera. You know what? We'll just go with it. It's because I can't get my head straight over top of it, so it looks like it's lined up for me, but it's not. Okay, now this is the smooth flower. Let's hope I can line this one up a little bit better. So now we're going to stick this right in here. Oh, that's so pretty. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's one flower petal that is a different kind of weird shape. I use that one to line up the stem. So here's the weird one. There's the weird one. And I use it to line up the stem. Okay. Here we go. Plunk it down. So pretty. Okay. So we have one more thing to stamp, and that is the sentiment. So I can get rid of my scrap piece of paper. I'm going to do this in Berry Burst. Oh my goodness, I just put the whole stamp pad. Don't do that. In my thing. Maybe today is the day I should take off. What do you guys think? Because this working thing isn't working for me. All right. So, which is the worst? This one is a little bit better. So let's do this one. So this is just going to go straight on here just like that. So we're just going to glue that right on. All right. So let's give this a glue. And so this design, I didn't design it. I saw a card made by, I've got to switch my computer screen over so I can see. It was on split, it was a split coast stamper, and it was Robin Rassett. And she made this card, or did this design, and I loved it, so I copied her. Okay, so now we're just going to glue these down. So thank you, Robin, for the inspiration. And we're going to glue this down. And we're going to glue this down. Okay. And we're going to glue this down. So when we're putting this in, we want it to be centered. Okay, so that looks pretty centered, but most importantly, we want it to be hidden here. So I'm happy with that. I am going to put the glue down. Okay, I am going to very lightly place it. I'm not going to push it down. I'm just going to lightly place it. I think I'm centered there. I'm going to check. I'm good. Now I will push it without moving it. I just moved it. Did you guys see that? I moved it. Okay, so there's that. Now these guys, we're going to put these on an angle. So again, you only want to put adhesive on the one side. I wanted my, oh, this guy didn't go straight. There, I can still move it. This is why I like liquid glue. Okay, so I want this flower kind of going up and this flower going out. Okay, so I'm only going to put adhesive on the one side of this. Don't want, if you put adhesive down here, then it's going to glue to everything and it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that for a second because I don't want it to move. And then we're going to put glue here. We are almost done, guys. Isn't this an easy card? But it's so pretty. So I am lining this up with the score line. Okay, so it's a little bit over the edge of my border there. So isn't that pretty? Oops, isn't that pretty? So the only thing that we have left is to stick our Celebrate across here. And I want it to kind of sit right about here. So I need to find my paper snips. And you know what? We could do it across, and that way I could hide some of my boo-boos. How does that look? How about a banner, just like that? Let's try. Okay, so I'm going to do, I don't know if I want it that long though. Do we want it over or do we want it in here? Just across that. I don't think I want it all the way over. Okay, so let's do this side here. So I'm going to do a banner on the one end. So I'm just snipping it in the middle. I should really have my glasses on. And then coming in on the same angle to get a banner. So I want this to not hang over. Okay, I'm going to just try something. So I'm going to cut that, preferably straight. Do I want it hanging over like that and pop it up? Or do I want it down here? I want it up. I want it like that. I think that looks good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional. English, Jen, English. I'm going to put a dimensional here, or two. I did two because they're small. They're the minis because I don't know where my regular size are. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue here. Okay. And then I'm going to stick that in the middle, just like that. I don't want this hanging over. You could have it hanging over if you want, but I didn't want it. And there we go. Isn't that cute? So then you can embellish however you want. I'm going to leave it like that. I think that the paper has enough going on with it that I don't really want to add too much more. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this card and all my bloopers along the way. All right. We will see you next time. Bye for now.